Наша кореспондентка Каріна Платош сьогодні познайомить нас із героєм канадського хокею Волі Становський.
Я, Каріна Платош, вітаю вас, шановні глядачі, у своїй рубриці «Будьмо знайомі». Сьогодні наше знайомство із легендою хокею, українцем за походженням Волі Становський.
Вітаю.
Known as the Whirling Dervish, Wally Stanowski would man the blue line for the Maple Leafs as they captured the Stanley Cup in historic fashion in 1942. Following the victory, Wally would serve in the Royal Canadian Air Force for 2 seasons before returning to the Leafs and winning 3 more cups in 45, 47, and 48. In his 7 seasons with Toronto, Wally scored 94 points in 284 games and was named an NHL First Team All-Star.
We beat Detroit. We lost the first 3 games. But we had a lot of togetherness. You know, we'd cover up for one another and so on. Because we had trouble with our defensemen. There was only 2 defensemen left. Buck and McDonald played 62. And I played 64 minutes. I didn't have to come off because I was in great shape then. So, but they still pulled me off there to give me a little rest. And we worked hard. Yeah, because we lost the first 3 games, came back and won 4. It's never been done. It's been done once, but not for the cup. It was done in like a semi-final, but we're the only team that did it for the Stanley Cup to come back. Yeah.
That's your proudest moment as a Leaf?
Yeah, yeah.
Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba in 1919, Wally took to the ice early and became a stellar blue liner. He joined Hap Day's Maple Leafs in 1939, a team that would soon make their mark in hockey lore. The year was 1942, and no team had done it before. Down by 3 games in a championship final, they pulled out the miracle, and no team has done it since. Down 3-0 to Detroit and down by 2 goals in Game 4, goalie Turk Broda drew a line that launched the greatest comeback of all. The Leafs avoided elimination, winning by a goal, then dominated Game 5, winning 9-3. After shutting out the Red Wings in Game 6, the 7th and final game returned to Conn Smythe Gardens. Stanowski's defensive prowess was key in the final game, all tied at 1 after 2 periods. The Leafs put the exclamation point on the greatest comeback in sports history with a goal in the 3rd and had a Stanley Cup championship. Wally Stanowski went on to win 3 more Stanley Cups with the Maple Leafs before joining the Rangers in 1948. He was an entertainer and an athlete whose name will forever be etched on the Stanley Cup as part of the brilliant heyday of the Maple Leafs.
Wally, when did you decide to become a hockey player? Who inspired you?
Well, I came from Winnipeg, born there. And as kids, we had the old bob skates, like a double runner, cheap. You know, they were cheap then. And but we graduated from that. At that time, well, playground hockey, I was 11 or 12, I think, playground hockey. So we utilized our rink there to play some other teams. Or we traveled to, you know, to another rink, which was, well, it was all with a playground, they called it, yeah. My dad didn't want me to play hockey, but I used to sneak out and my first skates were women's skates. Yeah, well, it was tough times in those days. My dad was a blacksmith, but see, cash was hard to find. So he did a lot of work, like shoe horses. He made some wagons and this and that for farmers and that. But he always got paid with food, like half a steer or something. Yeah. Because, well, the farmers, they didn't have the cash. Yeah.
Did your wife support you?
Well, she was either here or there. Yeah, she didn't say much. Just my dad wanted me to be a blacksmith, and I didn't want any part of it, so.
How did you start with Maple Leafs?
Well, initially, they had a ruling that it was called the negotiation list, which simply meant that every team could have protected, these are amateurs now, four players, and say I was one of the owners and I saw somebody else play and I said, well, this guy is better than what I have. So he'd phone, or not phone, but he'd wire the president, who's at that time it was Campbell, and he said, well, put Wally on our list and drop this other guy. And if I wasn't on someone's list, you know, but I was then. I belonged to the New York Americans. So this was in 1938, and we won the Memorial Cup. We beat Oshawa then, and we played in the Gardens here in Toronto. So I guess the Leafs saw me play. So they made a deal with Red Dutton of New York Americans that the Leafs could have any player that was at the camp. But they had to trade. So I still remember our chaplain, who was the coach. He was from Winnipeg too, but he was the coach for New York Americans. And he came to me and he said, Wally, slow down. He says, I couldn't understand why he said slow down. He says, you made the club. He says, just slow down. You don't have to show me anymore. Well, he knew that the deal was in the making. Yeah.
You have Ukrainian roots. Who is Ukrainian in your family?
Well, my mother was Ukrainian, yeah. But she lived in Poland. And my dad was from Poland.
What was your mother's name?
Michaelina.
Did she speak Ukrainian?
Oh, yeah. Well, they spoke maybe 2 or 3 languages. Like my dad spoke Jewish and other languages. So.
If you were able to repeat everything again,
Yeah.
would you choose the same path?
I'd do the same thing.
You
Yeah.
would do the same
yeah.
thing.
Well, I worked hard. Yeah. I only regret that I broke my leg, because I could have played another 5 years or so.
Do you have any other interests other than hockey?
Fishing.
Fishing.
Yeah. There is a picture of a fish there.
He joined the Leafs in 1939 and was an NHL first-team All-Star in 41. In 1942, he led the Leafs to the greatest comeback in North American sports history, doing what no other hockey, basketball, or baseball team has ever done. A comeback from a 3-0 deficit to win their sports championship, ultimately defeating the Red Wings in 7 games. He would win cups again in 45, 47, and 48, and he's here with us tonight, number 2,